My name is Hallie Courtney, and this speech is for the Fundamentals of Speech Online at Lebec Community College. So today I'm going to be comparing books versus movies and how books are better than movies. So I am a really big book reader myself. I love reading books and I love watching book to movie adaptations because I think it's really exciting when you get to see a book that you've read or have been reading come to life in a movie. So I get it, how it's exciting to want to go and watch one, but they're not always better than the books. So a lady from Indiana University, she says that after she's always watched a book to movie adaptation, she has always been disappointed in the outcome of it because she's always imagined, you imagine books in your mind, and it's it really kind of lets you take off into a different world. And she doesn't think that the movies really portray what she's had been thinking, which I completely understand because I always imagine books in my head, and then when it's different in the movie, it kind of stumps you and you're like, oh, I imagine that completely different. Like when I watched the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before, it kind of stumped me how I didn't think it was quite right. The movie was good, but I feel like the book was just better. And so the second source I have is from Business Insider India. They say that books can take you into a different place. You can really just imagine it and your imagination can go wild. And so that's why you should always choose a book over a movie. And which you should, because books they go into way more detail, and they talk about things that you don't even see in the movie. Movies, they tend to leave out details from the book. There's even whole entire scenes that a movie can leave out, which is literally crazy. Why would they leave an important scene from a book out of the movie? And the last source I have is from High School Insider, and they say that books can provide you with a whole lot more background information because books, they just really go into they talk about more the characters' thoughts and feelings, and they describe the surroundings more, even though in movies you can see the surroundings, but they describe it and so you can imagine it, and it just really kind of lets your imagination go crazy with it, which is so awesome. I love being able to imagine books. It's just a complete different thing than watching a movie. And books, you can also take more time with them because books, you can read them up to a month. Some books are super long and some books are super short. But movies, even if it was from a really long book, they only tend to last a couple hours. Now some, they have multiple books, a series, and so there's multiple movies, but still the movies only tend to last a couple hours, and you don't really get to take your time and really imagine things like you can in books. Another thing is that movies can completely miss certain details that books have. So a main character of a book can be have blonde hair and be short, but in the movie they could be really tall and a brunette, and you go and see them and you're just really kind of what? In the book she was blonde and short, so that's what you expect instead of having a brunette and tall actor play her. So it's little things like that that could just kind of get you. But people who also don't read the book don't know those details. Books can kind of tend to ruin movies for you because since they leave out things in the movie, books just kind of ruin that. Because you're well, why didn't they put that in there? Or why didn't they make that character look like that character? Or why didn't just a bunch of whys that you don't really know why, and they're just not in the movie, which is just completely crazy. Why do that? Why not make the movie exactly like the book? And anyone who doesn't read the book won't know that detail that's in the movie. So if something really big happened in the book and they left it out, the person that didn't read the book before going to see the movie just wouldn't even know that detail. And that's crazy. Even if it was a big detail. And movies do actually do that. They can leave out really big important details. Like something that really just made the whole entire book could be completely left out of the movie. So in conclusion to all of this, I just kind of want to compare books to movies here now. So first off, books, you get to know exactly what the character is thinking and feeling. So like, if the main character was kissed, you get to know that she was happy. Like they'll say that in the first person point of view book, they'll tell you that she was happy, or well, obviously the main character would tell you that she's happy, versus in a movie where you just kind of get to see the joy on her face, because they're not really going to narrate it and tell you that like, oh, she was happy in the moment she was kissed. And number two, they just go into more like plot detail. Like, so you know usually exactly where they are. Like if they're in California, in a specific town, like they may even tell you like the date and the time in the book, versus in the movie, they don't really like tell you the exact date and time. Like they might give you a location, or you might recognize the town, you know? And lastly, books have just way more in them. Movies, they just tend to kind of sum up a book in like a book that could actually supposed to be like a 4-hour movie with all of the details in it. Movies just kind of cut little bits out and just really like, they just don't have as much in them. Like, because they don't want, like, someone's not going to want to have to watch like a 4-hour long movie. Like, I don't think anyone has the patience or attention span to do that. Because I always have to read books in increments, because I just don't have the attention span to like sit down and read for like 4 hours, or let alone watch a movie for 4 hours. So I think that like, yeah, they do cut things out and I get it, but just the book has just way more in it and everything than a movie. So I really hope that you enjoyed listening to my speech today, and thank you for watching.